Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Hellcats, a Korean romance from 2008 that stars Kim Min-hee, a popular actress who's been in a number of good flicks over the years, some of which were directed by Hong Sang-soo. And I've been wanting to review this one for a while, but the DVD has been out of print for ages. Fortunately, it popped up on streaming, so let's take a look. Now, the following plot synopsis was paraphrased from Wikipedia. This is about an extended family of 3 women from different generations. The 40-something interior designer Young Mi, played by Lee Mi-sook. The 27-year-old Ah Mi, played by Kim Min-hee. And the high school student Kang-ae, played by Ahn So-hee, who are all engaged in dilemmas regarding love and sex. Now, Kim Min-hee's character is a freelance screenwriter, and she has a boyfriend already. He's a member of a struggling rock band, and he's basically broke financially. One day, she goes out on a blind date after her and her boyfriend have kind of a falling out, and the new guy is a successful accountant, and he enters her life, and he seems like a pretty nice guy, and he also works for a big-time firm. Seems like an obvious choice for marriage material, but as they become more serious, she begins to notice some issues with their relationship. Meanwhile, the 40-year-old interior designer begins working with a theater company where she meets a much younger actor who takes a romantic interest in her, and the age gap is at first a bit awkward for her, but she finds herself compelled to engage in it. And then we have the teenage daughter. This girl has a best friend, a self-proclaimed dating expert who coaches her in matters of love, but their shenanigans lead to unexpected results. So that's kind of like the main premise and the dilemma of each individual character here. Now, early on, we do get multiple scenes with all 3 of these women hanging out together. They nag each other a lot. They criticize each other's progress in various areas of life. There's actually a pretty good scene of dialogue near the beginning where the older lady quickly frames the dilemma of the modern businesswoman attempting to achieve a sense of satisfaction in life. And there are multiple themes that bring this movie squarely within the modern era. Okay? In fact, I think the most important thing to understand about Hellcats is that it is a very modern romance film with a noticeable lack of traditional relationships. Every character in this film is flawed to a degree that includes both the men and women. Perhaps this is a more cynical take on things. I do enjoy both kinds of romance in cinema, both the idealistic and the realistic, if they're done well, right? I think the lack of idealism in this particular case does make sense because most of the romantic relationships in this movie are undefined. You know, they're situationships, so to speak. So the interactions within these relationships are more consistent with a grounded, realistic romance, and that's how things kind of go nowadays, right? Now, thankfully, it maintains a level of entertainment value because it never gets too, melodramatic or deadly serious. You know, I think the tone is fairly light overall. You know, you have some moments of effective humor. I like the restaurant scene where Kim Min-hee's friends need to deal with her drunken behavior in public. There's an awkward seduction scene involving the high schoolers that's pretty amusing. This is more of a romance with some comedy in it, instead of like a romantic comedy, so to speak. Now, typically, films like this, like these kind of, I guess you could say, modern romance films have a pretty strong dose of sexual content. That's not the case here. You know, it gets a little spicy at times, but it's nothing crazy. Now, in terms of criticisms, I do think the runtime is a bit on the long side. It runs at almost 2 full hours. That does create a few slow patches here and there, but that's really the main, little gripe I have in it. And remember, if you have to feel like a realistic romance, this is not like a My Sassy Girl, okay? So, if you're in the mood for that, like a realistic modern romance, I recommend this. I think it's a good flick. It's currently streaming on Tubi. Also, if you're a fan of any of the actresses, it's a go. And as always, we'll see you next time.